Yo, 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 we are back. That's right. It's Divine Sense Boxing back in the building. Salute to everyone dropping in early this morning. I know it is out of the ordinary for me to go live at this time. Usually it's late at night, but I got to get it in when I can get it in. You guys know what the deal is, man. So I hope you guys are waking up, getting your morning coffee, getting your morning routine going, and then, of course, tuning into Divine Sense to get your boxing fix in for the morning. Just want to talk about a topic that I feel like needs to be addressed. You know, a little bit out of the ordinary, not like a hot button topic, not talking about a fight, just talking about boxing in general, boxing, legacy. You know what I mean? Really getting down to the nitty gritty, really trying to understand like the standards of legacy in boxing. What standard should we hold to put people on the all-time great list, or an all-time great at a certain weight division, or pound for pound, if that's what you want to discuss? Well, we're going to tap into all of that this morning. And this will probably be my last live until the Danny Garcia-Jose Benavidez fight, which I will commentate live on. So for all the people jumping into the building early, I appreciate you. Mangus Allen, Tim Nick, Kings of Kings Boxing, first ones in the building, I appreciate you. They came in, I think, hours ago and already hit that like button. So thank you for that. We also got Stacy Rubin in the building. What's good? Jay Smooth, SM. SM, what's up, my guy? You haven't been in here for a hot minute, bro. I haven't seen you in the chat in a hot minute, bro. Good to see you. We got Omega Red also in the building. Looks like some of the channel members are the first ones to build the foundation this morning. So, you know, the other day I went live and, you know, we got into a conversation a little bit about boxing legacy. So I made a mental note and I was like, you know what? I'm going to talk about it in another live stream. I think I need to. There needs to be a little bit of an education process here. You know what I mean? We got into the topic of Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao, who has a better legacy. And on that note, I am planning a live dedicated. I'm going to revisit the whole Pacquiao-Mayweather saga. I'm going to revisit it. Not just the fight itself, but the whole lead-up process, who ducked who, what the outcome was, and ultimately who has the better legacy when it's all said and done. Who will be higher on the all-time great list, Pacquiao or Mayweather? We're going to get down to the bottom of it. We'll probably open a panel, and we'll debate it. But today will be just in general, or this morning rather, just in general, in regards to what are the standards, or what should be the standards to be proclaimed a boxing legend. Now, if you guys seen the thumbnail as you clicked in, I put some pictures up on that thumbnail. I got Oscar De La Hoya in the thumbnail. I got Manny Pacquiao. I got Floyd Mayweather. I got Canelo in there. I got Sugar Ray Robinson, and I got Muhammad Ali, right? Just threw some notable names on the thumbnail. Some people, or I would imagine most of the people in the thumbnail, you would recognize or you heard their name. But we have to admit there's a lot of people out here in the boxing world that are not too familiar with the likes of a Sugar Ray Robinson, a Henry Armstrong, a Jack Johnson, a Jack Dempsey, a Muhammad Ali for that matter, right? We do have a big, you know, younger population on here just starting to learn about boxing, becoming boxing fans. And it is our duty, in a way, as boxing content creators, in my opinion, to educate the masses, let the people know how this whole storyline has begun. It began many, many, many moons ago. The greats have paved the way to be able for us to watch the fighters that we like today. So we're going to get into it. Let's see who I got. I got Charles Granger. What's good, bro? Stepping into the chat. Good to see you. Flawless Mentality. How you doing? Is that Mark? Is that the same person? We were on Drew's panel earlier. Great live, by the way. Really enjoyed that conversation that we had on Drew Titan's show last night. Talked about a lot of interesting topics, which I plan to. Well, I already have another channel created that will be dedicated to that. I'm just waiting to launch it. Just going live on this channel is hard enough, but I feel like when I go and speak on a panel with Drew and the illustrious Dr. Mark, I feel compelled and motivated to want to share my story and my thoughts about life, society, dating, relationships, sex, all that shit that we have to encounter every single day. I feel like I need to get my voice out there before it's too late. No doubt, man. Tap, aka Stacy Rubin. No doubt. I appreciate you, bro. Yeah, I've been busy, man. I've been busy. I'm a busy man out here, bro. I'm a very busy man. But we try to get it in. All right, so let's get into it. All the people, I know you guys got your morning. You guys are ready to hear what I have to say. Now, I'm going to give you guys an essential, like, standard breakdown on how I think that a particular boxer, basically there's certain hurdles, right? There are certain milestones, is a better word to use. Certain milestones that a boxer has to achieve to be considered an all-time great. And amongst those milestones will be a pathway. The pathway to get to those milestones need to be clear, concise, and need to be done the right way. All right? For me, to be an all-time great is very simplistic, to be honest with you. It's not complicated. Okay? There are many different ways. Now, a heavyweight, for example. You're born a big man, right? If you're born 6'1", well, basically, you can refer to some of the smaller heavyweights in history, like a Jack Dempsey or Rocky Marciano. These guys were considered small heavyweights. Mike Tyson was considered a small heavyweight. But in general, right? In general, you have, let's say 6'3" and above, all the way up to 300 pounds. Naturally a bigger man. Now, can you be considered an all-time great when you essentially can't go into other weight classes? Absolutely you can. Why? Well, because you're a heavyweight. The fact that you're a heavyweight automatically puts you at the pinnacle of the sport. Since the dawn of time, when boxing became commercialized and put into stadiums and fighters put gloves on, everybody goes and watches heavyweights. Why not? Right? So you already have that luster, that appeal as a heavyweight. Now, for me, Jack Johnson is one of the greatest heavyweights of all time, in my opinion. I can't give you an exact number, but he's definitely, as far as heavyweights are concerned, he's in the top 3 in my book. Okay? Just the era that he had to fight in, the things that he had to overcome, and quite frankly, the guys that he beat as well. His resume is also stacked, but that's a whole nother video. Now, because he is a part of that top 3, top tier heavyweights of all time, he automatically is inserted in the all-time great list, which includes all the weight classes. And ladies and gentlemen, we are not talking about pound for pound. We're talking about an all-time great list. An all-time means a person's like the best that has ever stepped in between the ropes into that square circle. It doesn't matter necessarily. Or I should say, it doesn't always matter what weight class you come from. Now, is there a certain appeal to a smaller man moving up in weight classes, conquering those weight classes, defending belts in those weight classes, fighting all the available names? Do we put them above heavyweights, right? That's always a debate. That's always like, because you can't fault a heavyweight because they're already big. But this guy, he pound for pound went up in weight classes and did what he did. That's why most boxing experts, historians, put Sugar Ray Robinson as the greatest fighter of all time. The fact that, it's pretty self-explanatory, right? Welterweight, middleweight, light heavyweight, all the big names that you can imagine during that time. He fought them all and multiple times. Multiple-time champion. Extremely long undefeated record before he took his first loss. Take a loss and go on another 20, 25 winning streak. Right? And been in wars with guys like Jake LaMotta, for example, who also is on the list for a lot of people being an all-time great. So I think what you got to do is you got to somehow, when we talk about the all-time greats, it becomes difficult into the modern era. See, this is a pet peeve of mine, especially when I get people on the panel that come in here talking about, like, you know, oh, well, man, shit, you know, like Floyd is better than Sugar Ray Robinson. It's a slippery slope, right? You can try to make the argument that Floyd has a better legacy because he retired undefeated and the guy he fought X, Y, and Z in his era, defensive genius, best punching accuracy in the history of the sport, didn't take any damage, blah, 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 blah. But that still doesn't negate the fact that Sugar Ray Robinson had probably double the fights, defended his titles way more times, fought probably more notable names. Yeah, sure, he fought more taxi drivers, but Sugar Ray Robinson definitely fought the toughest challenges in his era, and it didn't matter if they were black, white, Mexican, whatever, Italian. He fought them all. Okay, and did it multiple times. So for me, it's always a difficult debate to make. So that's why historians and experts, they separate it in eras. Well, of this era, it's this person. And in that era, it's that person. But at the end of the day, you got to make a list of the all-time greats. That's what all-time means. So how do you put yourself on the all-time? What's up, Arturo? Devin Blocker in the building. So to make an all-time list means from every era combined. And you have to take things into consideration. So let me tap into what my thought process is to be able to combine all the eras and complete the list for all-time greats. And I understand that it's tricky and it's tough because back in the day, you had to fight to survive. You had to fight to feed your family. You more or less had to fight, whereas today, you fight one time like a Canelo Alvarez or a Floyd Mayweather or a Manny Pacquiao for that matter. You can fight a couple times a year and you good for 3 years after that if you don't want to fight again. Completely different era. Money speaks more volumes now than it did back then. I get it. But let's look simply at resumes for what it's worth, and also style, skill, durability, and accomplishments. Let's just look at that. Let's try to take pay-per-view money and all that shit and put it to the side. Without having to go into the history of the sport, let's look at something that we're more familiar with. Modern day era, right? Modern day. So what names pop up? Let's keep it simple. Oscar De La Hoya. Then it was Floyd. Then it was Mayweather. Pacquiao's like right there as well. And now Canelo's still going. De La Hoya's out. Mayweather's out. Pacquiao's out. So those are the most notable names that had the most. Oh, you can throw in Mike Tyson. You can throw in Evander Holyfield. You can throw in Lennox Lewis. All the big heavyweights in the 80s and 90s if you want to do that. And I guess you can take it all the way back to the 80s if you want. Hagler, Hearns, Leonard. Sure, let's throw them in there too. You look through those careers, right, and the accomplishments that they had. If you know their resumes well enough, you can really dive deep into it. But for me, the process is like this. If you stay at one weight class your entire career, so let's say lightweight. Let's say you're a lightweight, 135 pounder. How does a 135 pounder who doesn't go into other weight classes get put on the all-time great list? Well, it's simple, right? They have to dominate that weight class and defend that weight class essentially for as long as they possibly can, and ideally until retirement, right? Because you're not taking any other risk outside of your weight class. So therefore, while you are active, you have to dominate, collect all the belts, be undisputed, and defend those belts as many times as you can. Now, you can take a loss, but it's how you come back from that loss. right? If you do those things, then sure, you can be in the conversation of an all-time great, because you can be an all-time great lightweight or featherweight, strawweight, whatever it may be, right? Jimmy Wild, I don't know if you guys know this guy. This guy named Jimmy Wild, a really small fighter, right? With like 118 pounds or some shit like that. Never really left the weight class, but had like 200 victories. Multiple time champion, defended his titles dozens of times, right? He's considered one of the greatest small men of all time from the UK. He's in the all-time great list. Now, would I take someone like Jimmy Wild and put him above someone that went through multiple weight classes? No, but they still deserve accolades nonetheless. If you control and dominate your weight class, you can get the title of the greatest whatever, right? Lightweight, welterweight, middleweight, etc., etc. That is, I mean, you deserve merit for that and deserve to be put on the all-time great list. And by the way, when I say all-time great list, to be on the all-time great list, you can make it out of 200. You can make it out of 100. But essentially, to me, an all-time great list shouldn't be more than 50. It should be the top 50 fighters of all time, in my opinion. You can make the list as long as you want to, but it becomes redundant if it goes past 50, in my opinion. So for me, it's top 50. And maybe one of these days, I'll make my own list and I'll post it. Y'all can debate it, right? But yes, to solidify my point here is that if you conquer your weight class, dominate that weight class while you're active, whatever weight class it is, defend titles, become undisputed, collect the belts of whatever era it was, then you get a pass into that top 50. There's only so many weight classes in boxing. Then you just got to figure out where we're going to put, in the 1920s, there was this flyweight. And then the 1950s, there was another flyweight. And they're both pretty fucking good. Well, you have to make that decision on who goes above who, right? But they both have to be undisputed. They both have to accomplish the standards that or the parameters that I just set forth. So that's one way that you can enter the all-time great list or have a legacy, in my opinion. The second way is, of course, as I mentioned earlier, if you don't have the opportunity to command and conquer multiple weight classes, that's essentially a cruiserweight / heavyweight, right? You have to be one of the best heavyweights of your era. You got to fight everybody. Now, generally speaking, most people put Muhammad Ali in that category because, shit, he literally did fight everybody in his era. Like, literally. He took some L's here and there, but he fought everybody, and he won belts, and he defended belts. And you have to consider the fact of he wasn't active for X amount of years because he refused to go to Vietnam, and he came back. Fought George Foreman, shocked the world. And then, of course, what he stood for as a man also, in my opinion, holds merit. Just like Jack Johnson. Despite what he had conquered and accomplished as a fighter, but what he stood for as a man, and at that time, white America, holds a lot of merit. Because you're a man, let me say this again, you're a man before you're a fighter. That holds weight in my opinion. So, a lot of people have Muhammad Ali like top 5, top 3, all-time great. That's fine, right? Because one thing you can't take away from Muhammad Ali is the fact that he literally fought every heavyweight that was there. From Sonny Liston early in his career, all the way to Larry Holmes to the end of his career. He never ducked the challenge. That's why people considered him the greatest. So that's another way you can make the all-time great list. And then the last way that you can make it is the most obvious way that most people would think about, which would be to go into multiple weight classes. This is where they continue to promote this idea. Manny Pacquiao did it. Floyd Mayweather did it. Bernard Hopkins did it. De La Hoya did it. where you got to go into these different weight classes, conquer these weight classes, win belts, defend those belts, hopefully, right? So this idea isn't new, by the way. Obviously, we know that Sugar Ray Robinson did it, as I mentioned earlier, welterweight, middleweight, light heavyweight, et cetera, right? They were doing that shit in the 40s and 50s. So not a new concept, but yes, if you're going up in weight classes and fighting bigger men and defeating bigger men, then it holds an extreme amount of weight. Now, here's EK Experience. What's good? Make sure y'all click that like button when you guys come in here, man. I don't expect a huge crowd this morning because I don't typically go live in the morning. You know what I'm saying? And I know a lot of people are doing other shit. But if you come in, hit that like button, man. At least let the people know you came in. So here's the kicker. And this is where I think people get confused. Nobody really disputes. I know it doesn't matter what side of the fence. I can be a Mayweather fan, and John Doe over here can be a Pacquiao fan. But we can probably agree on one thing, that Muhammad Ali is an all-time great. Where the waters get murky is when you start having conversations of these fighters who did fight in multiple weight classes, win championships, and it's like now you have to take the weeds out and figure out how or what the right path is. Like I mentioned earlier, it's milestones, it's a pathway, and what do we recognize and what we shouldn't recognize as legitimacy. So first thing is, right off the top, I wholeheartedly refute catch weights. I think catch weights are a cancer to the sport. I think it has set the wrong mindset. And Pacquiao, Mayweather, De La Hoya, to name a few, were the king of that shit. Right? They built a career off of catch weights. Now, Manny Pacquiao, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but if I were to argue, I would say Manny Pacquiao fought in more catch weights than Floyd or De La Hoya did. Okay, and a lot of that was because he was an extremely small man. A lot of people forget that. People think of Manny Pacquiao as a 140 pounder, 147 maybe, depending on when you started watching boxing. But he came from all the way down there, like 122 or some shit. So he's naturally a very small man. So, he's going to reach a wall at some point, right? He's not going to be able to fill in to, like fighting a Margarito. Are you serious? He's not going to fight Margarito at 154, like a true 154. That shit's not going to happen. Okay, much different than a Sugar Ray Robinson. Sugar Ray Robinson has predominantly always been, 140, 70-ish pounder. It's much different starting at 147 and creeping your way into light heavyweight than it would be starting at 122 and trying to go fight at super welter or light middleweight. There's a difference. Okay. But look, the catch weights are a pet peeve, and I just can't recognize it as legitimacy into going into other weight classes. I just, for the life of me, can't do it. And over the years, I've waited for somebody to come in and try to defend it, and I have yet to hear like a valid reasoning for me to be like, oh, okay, yeah, mate, I haven't. And I don't think anybody will be able to. Canelo himself has been involved in catch weights. Now, and I think I have to double check, but I know like even the Floyd fight with Canelo was a catch weight, if I'm not mistaken. I do give Canelo a little bit of credit in one regard. He has, especially as of late, and for the most part of his career, has fought in the weight class in which he is fighting, as in like the weight has always been what it is, right? So if he's fighting at welter, he fought at 147. If he fought at super welter, or aka light middle, he fought at 154. for the most part, right? You would say majority. And even going up and fighting Bivol and whoever the fuck else up there, he may have came in lighter, but there weren't catch weights, right? So I give him a little bit of the benefit of the doubt there. The problem with Canelo, though, in my opinion, has always been the opponent, not necessarily the weight, which is another matter. So the catch weights, right? Big no-no for me. I want to make that abundantly clear that when I make my all-time great list, I take that into consideration. Second thing is obviously the opponent. And when I say the opponent, I'm also adding in the fact of winning a title off of a champion in comparison to winning a vacant belt. Right? Now, when I tap back into who has a better legacy, Pacquiao or Mayweather, which is going to be a massive talking point, I imagine that the panel is going to get heated, and I imagine there's going to be a fair amount of people in here. But that's going to be a massive talking point of that debate, is in comparison between Pacquiao and Mayweather, who fought more champions and took the belt off the champion compared to winning a vacant title. So we're going to talk about it. I'm not talking about it on this live stream, but I'm giving you guys a prelude. I'm giving you guys a bit of an appetizer when we do revisit Pacquiao Mayweather, because my inbox is blowing up about it. I upset some people in my last live stream. It is what it is, but I'll break it down for you because, I don't want to be accused of not explaining myself clearly. People get frustrated. So we're going to talk about it. So, yes, winning belts from actual champions, walking in as the challenger, beating the champion fair and square, and taking that champion's belt holds merit. Okay? Now, I'm not necessarily saying that it's a travesty if two men or women, for that matter, fight for a vacant title and become a champion. It's not the end of the world, because sometimes shit happens. Sometimes a guy holds a belt for a long time, like, Tyson Fury. His ass might give up a belt. And then who knows? Maybe Deontay Wilder will fight for that belt because it's vacated, right? Shit happens in boxing. But, again, it still doesn't have weight, doesn't carry more weight than actually beating a champion and taking that belt from the champion. Okay? Another thing that matters to me is defending those belts, cleaning up the weight classes. Now, just to give you guys a reminder, the whole topic here is, what is the standard to boxing legacy? What is the standard for being added onto the all-time great list? This is what we're discussing. Just throwing out a reminder here. Defending those titles in which you win are extremely important. So, let me put it in perspective. Let's say you fight 3 fights at welterweight. You fight a tune-up, then you fight a title eliminator, and then you fight for the title, then you win the title. Now, as soon as you get that belt, you put that belt on ice, go up to 154 to try to fight for another belt. Let's say you win that too. Now you got a belt at 154. Now you got a belt at 154 and 147. You got 2 belts on ice. You elect not to defend that title in which you have just won at 147 and 154. You move up to 160. Then you win a title at 160, and you repeat that process all the way till, light heavyweight, 175. Sound familiar? Sound familiar? So the process of you going up in weight classes and winning a belt sounds great. It sounds extravagant. It sounds fucking amazing. But guess what? You're leaving a lot of talent behind. Your journey started at 147. You never defended the titles at 147. you never gave anybody a chance. Just like the person who gave you the chance as a title contender, you are not returning the favor to those that are at number 1 and number 2. You are essentially holding titles for hostage. That's what you're doing. You're holding titles hostage. Defending belts, knocking out the number 1, 2, and 3 contenders of those weight classes, plural in this case, makes a difference. Johnny Q, what's up? It makes a difference. Right? So, although I'm saying, yeah, good job, you were able to move up and win these belts, but did you ever defend them? How long did you hold belts hostage? And a lot of times what ends up happening is those belts become vacated, because it's much easier going up in weight than it is coming down in weight. Because more times than not, when you go up in weight, you're going up in age as well. So it's difficult to come back down and defend those belts. So they end up becoming vacated. Case in point, you're not returning the favor to those contenders at 1, 2, and 3 when you yourself was given a favor to have that title shot to begin with. Right? So, okay, Divine, I hear you, bro. I hear you. So, how do we fix this? My man Arturo is listening. He's probably wondering that right now. All right, bro, I see you. So, how do we fix it? Well, it's actually not that complicated. It's actually not that complicated. You're at 147. The problem is hopscotching, right? Hopscotching and too much of in a hurry to get two things. Number one, the biggest paid fights, which is why Canelo is fighting Triple G the third time, 40-year-old man. I'll wipe my ass with that fight. Okay? I'm not gonna go live about that fight. I'm gonna make one simple upload that's gonna be approximately 45 seconds long. And I'm gonna give you guys my thoughts about that fight. And I'm gonna leave it there. So the problem is chasing the big money fights or too much of in a hurry to move up to grab belts at other weight classes. So you neglect your duty as a champion to defend those belts. That's the whole point. It is your duty as a champion to defend your crown. And that's why, to me, heavyweights deserve a lot more respect, because heavyweights don't have a choice to do so. Heavyweights have no choice but to defend belts. Once you become a champion, you got a target on your back. Every heavyweight is coming for you. Now, if you're not a heavyweight, you have many different options. Take big money fights. Not defend belts. Go up another weight class. Drop down a weight class because I want trying to get that money. Whatever the case is, right? That's why I hold heavyweights up to a higher regard. So that's my issue. That is essentially my issue with me. When people come to me, hey, yo, Divine, where do you put Canelo on all-time great list? Right now, I mean, he might crack the top 50, but I have to think about it hard. I'm just being honest. Right? And I know that hurts people. I know that ruffles feathers, but that's just how I feel. Now, his career is not over, but him going and fight Triple G doesn't help my decision-making. Based off of the things that I just gave you, the reasons that I just gave you on how I hand out your on the all-time great list. Mr. Know-It-All Rants in the building. What's good, bro? Appreciate you. Make sure you hit that like button. Every single person coming up here, make sure you hit that like button. Get the likes up as high as we can. I'm not going to be in here too long this morning. I'm just trying to get this in. It's a quick live, straight to the point live this morning. So if you hear, you hear. So yeah, that's my issue, man. That's my issue. And like I said, if you're just joining, we're gonna creep back into and revisit Pacquiao Mayweather. We're gonna talk about their legacies again. Okay, I think that needs to happen. Because a lot of people don't know that I debated Pacquiao and Mayweather for years in the trenches. And, some people just don't learn their lesson, bro. They don't learn their fucking lesson. They that they like to forget. It's convenient to forget. So they got to be reminded. They got to have to be reminded. But that's it, guys. That's it. That's your ticket on my ballot to be considered an all-time great. Weight classes matter. I already broke it down as far as being a heavyweight. I already broke it down as far as moving up in multiple weight classes. Let me just quarterback it one more time for the people that came in late. There's 3 ways to make the ballot to be on the all-time great list. And when I say the ballot, I'm talking about my ballot, because this is my breakdown, essentially, my list. 1, to make it, you got 3 ways to make it on the all-time great list. Number 1, if you stay in one weight class, you never move around in different weight classes, you have to conquer that weight class, defend that weight class for the majority being 80 to 90% of your career. You can take L's in between, but you got to avenge those losses. Avenging losses matter. Okay? That's one way you make it. You can be an all-time great lightweight. You can be an all-time great flyweight. You can be an all-time great heavyweight. Whatever weight class it is, as long as you dominate that weight class, defend those belts for a long, extended time, even if you lose, you come back and avenge those losses, you can be considered an all-time great. You do not necessarily have to conquer multiple weight classes and or be a heavyweight. The second way you can make the all-time great list is as a heavyweight. Now, heavyweights and cruiserweights are kind of exempt because they're in their own special category, essentially, because they don't have the ability to move up and down weight. So you can still make the all-time great list, once again, as long as you do what you need to do in the heavyweight division, aka fight everybody that's available, beat champions, win belts, defend titles, etc., etc., etc. The third way is the obvious way, which is move up in weight classes, win belts off of champions in comparison to winning vacated belts, and defending contenders in the weight classes in which you conquer. Now, that third option that I just stated, that option holds the highest level of regard, I guess, it carries the most weight, which is why Sugar Ray Robinson, for most people, is the greatest boxer of all time, because of the reasons that I just stated, the things that he did, right? So those are the 3 ways that you can make my all-time great list, how you as a fighter can be in the conversation of being a legendary fighter, legendary, aka part of legacy, right? What are the ways to cement your legacy in boxing? Those are the 3 ways. Okay. There are names. What's up, Bruce? There are names swirling around in boxing right now that people are already saying, oh, this person or that person's already an all-time great. How so? There are people on YouTube right now talking about, man, I'll put Canelo in the top 15. I'll roundhouse your ass if I see you in person. If you even attempt to talk that blasphemy around me. Top 15, Canelo Alvarez, I will literally drop kick your face. That's how blasphemous that is. Because we have fallen in love with this idea of like, look at what he did. He was at welterweights, and then he won a title or two there, and then he moved up to super welterweight 154, aka light middleweight, won a title or two over there, and then he goes to middleweight, and then he's bouncing around, and therefore that makes him great. But who did he fight, though? Did he defend those titles, though? He spent a couple of years bullshitting around with Triple G. And he's about to go fight him again. As if we haven't seen it enough. What the fuck else is there to prove, Canelo? What? What is there to prove other than I need to get another feather in my cap? I need another victory under my belt because I'm not feeling too good about myself because I got my ass beat against Bivol. And rightfully so. Because you bit off more than you can chew. So that's essentially what it is. And when people say, man, I don't understand why you feel the way you feel about Canelo, man. I mean, he's done great things. I mean, shit. I mean, look at all the weight classes he's conquered. Of course, you got to put him in the top 15. Man, I will sidestep, uppercut you. Get the fuck away from me with that bullshit. You're going to put him along the names of Pernell Whitaker, even Oscar De La Hoya for that matter. You're going to put him along the names of Sugar Ray Robinson, Henry Armstrong, Jack Dempsey, Jack Johnson. The list goes on and on and on. Top 15? Yeah. That's an uppercut. And a pillow. And NyQuil. And a teddy bear. That's what's going to happen. DJ Zion Love, bro. What's good, bro? I haven't seen you in a minute. See, this is that morning crowd. See, I'm seeing what's happening here. This is the morning crowd right here. So I be going late night the past 2 or 3 months, and I don't see some of y'all, man. I don't see some of y'all. But now I see the morning crowd. I got you. I feel you. Good to see you, though. Yeah, Mr. Know-It-All Ranch, man. I got my pet peeves, bro, when it comes to that shit. And hey, look. A lot of people classify it as hating. I ain't hating. Me, unlike other boxing channels out here, I recognize skill when I see it. Canelo's got skill, man. He wouldn't be in the position that he is in now if he didn't have skill. I never called him a bum. I don't use that type of language generally. Okay, for me to call you a bum, I mean, you literally have to be like you're in the way, basically. You're in the way. You shouldn't be fighting. You're in the way. Get the fuck out of the way. That's a bum. Right? But if you take like Gabe Rosado. Gabe Rosado has taken several L's in his life. Been in big fights. He's come up short. But would you consider Gabe Rosado a bum? He ain't a fucking bum. Right? So it's not like I'm calling Canelo a bum or using insulting language. But I'm saying what it is based off of my criteria to be an all-time great. I don't know if he cracks the top 50 right now. I mean, I literally have to go through definitely not top 20. Oh, not even close to the top 20. Probably not the top 30. Just simply based off the people that he's fought and simply because he hasn't defended any of the belts in which he's conquered. Tyrone Spencer was good. So, I mean, it's not difficult for me. And so for me, you know what? You guys know how I always say, right? I always say this on all my live streams. Divine Sense Boxing is a cool dude, man. I'm a laid back dude. I give everybody a fair chance. You get up on the panel, I give you a fair chance. You talk that dumb shit, you're going to get shredded. It's as simple as that. You come in here and talk boxing. Now we can argue, we can debate. No problem. Boxers are not exempt from the fury of Divine Sense. Okay? I treat everybody equally. Everybody equally. Adrian Broner, great talent. Wasted most of his talent on bullshit. Facts. Prove me wrong. Right? I mean, I can go down a long laundry list Okay, I keep this shit real and authentic all the time. That's what I do. As much as I love Wilder and praise him, and he's one of my, he is my favorite heavyweight. I hope he comes back. Would love to see him fight again. I rooted for him. I cheered for him in the whole Fury trilogy. Was he perfection? Did he make mistakes? Absolutely. Right? So I'm critical in all phases, and I praise you when you deserve to be praised. And even if you're a favorite fighter of mine, it's no different than my brother doing some bullshit. I'm going to call him out for it. It's out of love, people. It's out of love. When I criticize Canelo, it's because I love the sport of boxing. I do it out of love. But then it gets to a point where now you're just spitting in my face now. Now you're just spitting in my face now. See, Wilder does it out of innocence in a way, where he lets his emotions get the best of him, and shit happens. But now I'm starting to feel like someone like Canelo is starting to do it on purpose and starting to piss me off, like he's pissing off a whole lot of diehard boxing fans. Why? Well, you just recently, let me make it abundantly clear. You just recently become undisputed at middleweight, right? Or super middleweight, excuse me. Okay? You beat Caleb Plant. What was your next fight? Bivol. Took a loss. And instead of saying, you know what? I got all these straps at 168. Let me go back down there and let me fight and defend a couple. Let me fight a couple contenders down here at 168. Because people keep giving me shit about it. No. I'm going to go fight Triple G. And before anybody says, oh yeah, but Devon, man, they're going to fight at 168. And the titles are on the line. Triple G is not a 168 pounder. He's a middleweight. He's always been a middleweight. And the fact that they're going to go up and fight at 168 is a fucking joke. Karma Boxing MMA, what's good? Right? Tyrone Spencer, facts. Belt holders and champs, big difference. Absolute facts. Oh, 1,000% know-it-all rants. Yeah. When has Tyson Fury defended a title? He just fought Mr. Tickle My Tummy, Dillian White. That's it. That's who he got on his resume, Dillian White. Great job. Great job. I'm not convinced. I'm not even convinced that fight was legit. I don't care. I said it. Fuck it. I'm not convinced. All the tickling, rubbing, hugging, kissing, bullshitting around, press conferences. Man, that fight build-up was the worst fight build-up in a heavyweight title matchup that I've ever seen in my fucking life. Ever. That shit was pitiful. It was disgusting. Muhammad Ali rolling in his grave watching that bullshit. And then you want to try to convince me that Tyson Fury is sometime an all-time great? Speaking of that, I just rewatched Behind the Scenes by Top Rank. It came across on YouTube randomly. In my living room, chilling, right? And it came across Top Rank, Behind the Scenes, behind Wilder Fury 3, right? So it was more, obviously it's Top Rank, so it's all about Tyson Fury. And you got Tyson Fury's brothers, plural, other people in his family, Sugar Hill, all these guys right on his team talking about Tyson Fury's the greatest thing ever. Literally, they wanted to emphasize that. The greatest thing ever. Better than Ali, Jack Johnson, all the great heavyweights that stepped through those ropes throughout the history of Bob. Greater than all of them. Right? And they're screaming in the mic saying this shit. Bob Arum. I wanted to smack the shit out of Bob Arum when he said he looked over at was it Sugar Hill? He's like, I've seen a lot of fights in my day. I had even the Ali and the Fraziers. I've never seen anything like Tyson Fury. It's the greatest fight and the greatest fighter I've ever seen. Sit your old ass down. Takes you 20 minutes to walk into the ring because you can't help yourself, can you? Somebody get that old ass out of here. Walking around like the Grim Reaper and shit, 107 years old. Looking like Moses. Jesus Christ. You should be ashamed of yourself, Bob. You yourself witnessed some of the greatest heavyweights that ever fought. You watched Ali beat George Foreman. You were around for Ali listing. And you want to come over there wobbling around talking about Tyson Fury is the greatest thing that I've ever seen in the heavyweight division. See, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. See, people fall in love with the story. They fall in love with this magical idea of on how boxing works and weight classes. And look, I got a belt. Look at me. I'm an all-time great. Some dumbass said on YouTube the other day, oh, I got Canelo at my top 15, bro. I got him in my top 15 all-time great, man. You know, he conquered this weight class, that weight class. And I'm sitting here thinking like, yo, this is what we got on YouTube right now. No wonder why I get dumbasses come over in the comment section. No wonder they kind of come in live and talk and they say dumb shit. No wonder, because we got people out there talking this blasphemy. He literally became undisputed, went up a weight class, lost, came back down, and then it's like, okay, you got humbled. No problem. It happens. It's okay. It's okay. So I'm thinking, all right, shit. He's going to go back 168. He's going to defend a title against a proper contender. A proper contender. We got we got plenty of names we can choose from. Let's pull them up. No, I got to take care of Triple G real quick. I got to take care of that because, you know, he's a thorn in my side. I can't live with the fact that I'm so close to knocking him out. I couldn't get it done, so I need another chance. He's 40 now. I don't mean to take this. I don't mean to make this all about Canelo, but let's keep it real. He is essentially the face of boxing right now. He's a pay-per-view king, is he not? He replaced Mayweather, did he not? So he's setting the standard, and people got him on the all. He's still fighting, and they already got him in the top 15 all-time great list. Can't make this shit up. But so what? You got him above Mayweather? Because I don't even know if I put Mayweather in the top 15. I mean, I have to look, but I don't know for sure. Maybe. But the fact that you already got him in the top 15 makes me wonder that you probably got him above Mayweather. But how the fuck does that work? Because he lost to Mayweather. That's like saying Manny Pacquiao's above Mayweather. But did Mayweather beat Pacquiao too? Oh, but trust me, we're going to talk about Pacquiao Mayweather. That's a whole nother lie. Pacquiao Mayweather. Revisit. That's what I'm going to call it. Revisit. Capital letters. Pacquiao Mayweather. Oh, we're going to get it done. We're going to get it done because it's all intertwined. Everything that I'm saying tonight, or sorry, for me it's tonight, for this morning. Everything that I'm saying this morning is all intertwined. Going to lead into other conversations when I come on live. Trust me. It's coming. Oh, this is tip of the iceberg, ladies and gentlemen. This is the introduction. What's the pathway to legacy in boxing? This is just the pathway right here. This is knocking on the door. We're knocking on the door. Wait until that door swings open. Oh, yes. Yes, there is a treasure under the rainbow. Trust me. Y'all see it. Y'all see it on the horizon. It's early morning. I don't come live early in the morning usually. So this is all strategic. See, everything I do, calculated and strategic. I knew there wasn't going to be a big crowd this morning. But we lay it out there. So for everybody, man, if you came in here a little bit later, you're going to have to rewind the tape. I hit my target. Just under an hour live. Hit my target. So if you came in a little bit late wondering what I was talking about, jump back in, rewind the tape. Leave your comments in the comment section once it's uploaded, and we'll get the conversation heated. And look, I know a lot of people are on the move. You're at work, getting your coffee ready, whatever the hell you're doing right now, and you can't comment, which makes sense. That's fine. But also, if you come in later and you listen, the comment section, ladies and gentlemen, is there for you. It's not there for me. It's there for you to spark conversation. So if there's a particular topic that you want me to talk about, put it in the comment section. If you want me to talk about the Charlos, you want me to talk about Andre, do you want to hear my thoughts on whatever it is, the comment section is there for you. That is what it's there for. So utilize it. And don't forget to hit that like button before you leave. But look, today is officially Thursday night for me, so I'm about to roll into Friday morning on my side of the world. I might squeeze in another live Saturday morning for me, which will be Friday night for y'all. And then I'll be commentating live Danny Garcia, Jose Benavidez, so y'all can look forward to that. So put it on your calendar. Divine Sense Boxing live, Danny Garcia, Jose Benavidez. You don't want to miss it. You guys know I have the best live commentary on YouTube. Y'all know this. And I'm looking forward to it. We got some big fights in August. August is going to be a hell of a month. I can't wait for August. We're going to blow it up. In the meantime, now that my mind's on it, let me send the link one more time to my other channel, which I will be talking about life stuff, relationships, social issues, you know what I'm saying? Just life stuff. This will be my other channel in which I will discuss those things. I'll put that link in the chat. Make sure y'all go subscribe to my other channel because that's where it gets real. That's where we talk about real life shit right there. I'm going to break it up in episodes where I talk a lot about my world travels, places I've been, things I've seen, my viewpoint on pretty much everything. Relationships, love, sex, marriage, religion, everything based off of my 16, 17 years of traveling the world. It's all going to be on that podcast, man. I try to refrain talking about it here because I try to keep this channel strictly boxing. So make sure y'all go subscribe to that other channel. Tune in because I'm about to launch it full speed. All right. So make sure y'all go subscribe, man. Who did I just miss? Jared, what's up? Divine, good morning. Harlem is here with you. Well, I appreciate you, bro. See, this is the morning crowd. This is the morning crowd right here because I don't really see Jared when it's late at night. I don't really see Mr. Know-It-All Rants late at night. Who else do I see? I don't really see Tyrone too much late at night. DJ Zen on Love, I don't see very much at night. So this is the morning crew. My man Mangus, though, rain, shine, dark. My man Mangus always up in here, just like my boy Omega Red. They're always up in here. My man Devin Blocker too. I appreciate you guys, man. Always making time to squeeze in, at least to hit the like button to show the love and appreciation. Really, really do appreciate that shit, guys. So I'm gonna get up out of here, man. Like I said, I didn't plan to make this a live one. I know Drew is live right now, so I'll probably swing by, see what he's talking about. So I guess I'll see you guys over there on that comment section, man. Let's go over there and show Drew some love. And like I said, don't forget to subscribe to that other channel, man. I'm telling you. If you don't subscribe, you're gonna regret it. All right. I appreciate you guys, man. Demon, what's good, man? You just missing. I'm about to wrap this shit up, man. One more live, guys. I'm gonna squeeze in one more live. I'm gonna think about the topic. I want to make it a lit one. One more topic before the fight between Danny Garcia and Jose Benavidez. Let's make it happen. We got one more live, heated debate. Then we do live commentary. Enjoy that fight party. So that's the schedule. So it's your boy Divine, man. Y'all stay up, stay strong, stay positive out there. Keep grinding, keep making that money, keep doing what you do. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.